G'day, omdevaji, Sheshnaag Mandir. What on earth is Kundalini? That's available on Amazon. This video is really personal for me. I've come to the realization recently about my temple and what it means to me, and how I'm a little bit ahead of my time in regards to the physical and physiological interpretation of the energetic framework of the human being. There's a lot of people out there in the spiritual community known as bhaktis who are like musicians and artists and really emotional, sensual beings. I'm a very sensitive person and very sharp in the mind, in the intellect. So I went to the Hindu community centre over the hill the other day, and they were talking to me about building the temple, and they said, oh yeah, we'll come and have a look at it and do some chants and have a gig there or two. And I thought, oh yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be right along with lines with where I want to go. I also talked to my friend who stayed here for a few weeks, Nepalese guy. I said it'd be cool if I exposed my mandir to the Nepalese community and the Bhutanese community, because in Hobart they don't have anywhere to worship God. I thought, what better place than Sheshnaag Mandir for Hindu cultures? And then I lost my dog a couple of weeks ago, and I went round my community. I live in a very secluded community in Tasmania, and all of the people here are really welcoming and beautiful. But most people don't know the community I live in, even if they've lived in Hobart for 20 years. So it's a very secluded place. It's not far from Hobart, it's just unknown. And I thought, there's a part of me really wants to respect that seclusion. I don't know if I really want to bring 100 people here to chant Sanskrit on a full moon and things, you know. Of course, maybe every 6 months when it's my turn, I could have like the full moon community group come, and that's only about 20 or 30 people. They could chant in the temple for sure, they'd fit easily, because it's a smaller group. Then I got exposed to, I've been a friend on Facebook with a lovely lady called Brenda Feuerstein, and she's the wife or widow of a guy called George Feuerstein. And George was one of the most prolific writers on tantric philosophy and Kundalini knowledge in the last 50 years, say. She put a post up the other day saying things about George, how he didn't really like to be in the limelight, he didn't like to do talks about his books, and he, even though he was asked hundreds of times, he only ever did about 3 talks. And she had a little bit of confusion going on in the world of Instagram these days, where everyone's doing headshots and putting filters on and publicising themselves and doing weekend workshops to become yoga teachers and like online courses to become Vedic masters, and how that wasn't sitting well with her. And I'm thinking, yeah, like there's a line that in the Indian philosophy where they say there was a guru, and there was a guy who studied the nadis, and he said something like, went up to the guru and he said, Guru, I've been studying the nadis for 70 years. Can you teach me the art of manifestation now? And the guru said something like, 70 years? Is that all? To embody some of this Vedic stuff, it takes a long time. It's not like you can go and read a book and be a master over an 8-hour course or whatever. So she's developed 800, 500, 1,500 hour courses with George before he passed, and after he's passed, she's propagating the knowledge which he encouraged her during his life. And I thought, yeah. She said, oh, George just wanted to write. And then I got in touch with another Facebook friend called Whitley Strieber, who wrote a book in the 70s, 80s called Communion, had the actor Christopher Walken play the part in a movie, which was a really popular movie at the time, about alien abduction. But Whitley, sometimes I interact with him on Facebook, and it's a blessing for me because he's like a well-known person and he's deep in this experience of continual interaction with non-territorial entities from different dimensions. And he's had the life, mate, where he knows what's going on. And I said, Whitley, why do you avoid the limelight? And he said, the celebrity games never suited my purpose. And I thought, I want to be more like George and Whitley, mate. I'm quite happy to be a sage on the fringe of society, on the end of town, like the witch doctor that you go to, that you go to sometimes, but most people think he's off his head. I want to be like in a stable human relationship with a sweet, grounded, earthy woman who's balanced and not overly traumatized, who's got the majority of her expressions are dynamically very similar to mine, so it's like I'm hanging around with an enhanced version of myself, and there's no threat upon each of us to do with anything apart from the beauty of allowing and accepting each other and encouraging each other into fullness. I want a grounded woman who grows her own veggies, does the compost, get off grid, I want to have a temple that maybe I just sit in and write books and chant mantras in the morning. I don't even like people that much, so I don't know if I want a public venue. I do actually know now, and I don't want a public venue. I want a personal venue that people know about, that I can continue to write books about Sanskrit philosophy and Kundalini experience from an autobiographical perspective, and then keep to myself. And in that, I can be a good father. And in that, if I can influence maybe 6 different individuals that I'm the guardian of, then that's a beautiful thing. And those 6 people can go on and create better harmonic frequencies with the transformation of the new paradigm that's coming into the human psyche. So there's me spilling the beans on why I want to pull back a bit in regards to not having to be famous, not having to be overly popular. A part of me will get a publicity agent to do with my books, but in that, I'm not going to participate in all that travel and shit. I just want to be a good dad every second week while I'm working away every second week. If I get enough money to stay home, then I'll be from my books. When I get enough money from my books, then I can just stay home and be an awesome dad all the time. But until then, I'm quite happy to indulge myself in my profession and participate in the economic culture that way, and then be a father when I come home to those that I care about and that are close to me. I don't have to save the world. I don't have to save other people. If I keep punching out videos on YouTube, then the videos will help them in their own way when they coordinate their soul to match up with the video and match up with the omji talking a lot of shit on YouTube and writing shit in books. There you go. Because I'm not big into self-promotion. I'd rather be into humility and servitude and obeisance. They're my main 3 gigs. So in that, deep reverence to the Sanskrit alphabet, perpetuation of the knowledge to do with self-knowledge, Atma Jnana, on the most subtle level, Sri Vidya, the royal science, to do with the eternal purpose of the human being. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev. You can subscribe just there. Share the world.